So good morning, everybody. My name is Ayelet Gingold with Agam Real Estate. That's my company and my little baby of the last 22 years or so. I'm here today to talk about one of the most important jobs that we as realtors have, which is to help our clients really understand the value of a property that they are planning to buy. So, and it's very misleading the way the market goes. You go to Zillow, for example, or Redfin, and you see, you put in the price that you feel comfortable with, and you get beautiful properties, and you get excited. And then you go and see the property in an open house, or if you have a realtor, they take you to see it, and you make an offer, and you're very surprised that your offer was not even considered. And that's because the price is not what you see. The price is just what the seller want to present the property for. And the asking price is usually just a strategy, just a selling strategy or a marketing strategy. We all know, and it also depends on the market that we're in. So as a realtor, when I meet with my buyers, I always tell them, yes, this is the asking price, but let's look deeper into, how long it's been on the market, and then we finally see that, this property has been there for a while. They might have gone through some price reductions, and we have other ways as to kind of investigate and see around this property, what has been done in the last 6 months. We call it CMA, comparative market analysis. And that's basically, we look at the property, we take a half a mile radius around it, and we check to see what similar properties sold within this proximity in the last 6 months. Sometimes I even expand the radius. Sometimes I look at neighborhoods, which might be a different shape, not necessarily a radius. And that gives us an idea about the price range. And then we want to compare apple to apple. So we compare houses that are in the same square footage, houses that are in the same proximity to main roads, houses that are in the same condition. Because if the condition is better, then of course people will pay more for it. And then we also look at the element of time again, how long this property has been on the market. And that usually, and actually with buyers, we often look for properties that have been there a long time, because then sellers are becoming more motivated and they could actually get it for less. And today there is another component that just entered, which is buyer agent compensation. Many times the seller is not willing to pay compensation, which eliminates a lot of the buyers from taking a look at it, because their agents will not work for free. So because I am consulting my clients and they understand how things work, they know that if the seller doesn't pay my commission, they will pay for it, but they will get the property for less. And if they have enough down payment, it could be great for them, because at the end of the day, they could save money. Less competition, low price paid. The base for the taxes is lower. So for many reasons, it's actually better for buyers. And the other thing that now that we understand how other properties sold in the area, we look at what's currently offered. And I have a listing now in Santa Clara, and we only have like 10 properties currently active in that zip code. So the chances that we'll get good offers is great, no competition. So we look at the actives, we look at what's available. We compare the actives to what we are trying to get. If a client, for example, don't care about noise, then they can pay less if the property is located on a busy street or near a train, and stuff like that. So analyzing the current market gives us another angle of what we can, what this property may sell for. And then we look at, the reports together, because talking about conditions, some properties need roof replacement, some properties need other investments in the property. I just had sold a house in Los Altos that had a major problem with the foundation. So, we kind of evaluated the foundation repair may cost anywhere between $45,000 to $150,000. So, of course, we take the $150,000 into consideration, add it to the bottom line. So anyway, at this point, we look at the reports. And my job is to also not just send the clients the reports, but also after they had like a day or two to take a look at it, we go and read it together. And I use my expertise and my experience to tell them, you know what, this looks like $50,000. This looks like $150,000. And we kind of have, at the end of the evaluation process, we have some estimate of how much money they will have to spend right away. So we also take this into consideration. And we adjust the price accordingly. So the last component is when I have all that in my head and we already have established the price, I call the listing agent. And this is where my added value comes up the most. Being in the market for 22 years and having a really good reputation of a closer, agents like to work with me. So if the listing agent likes me, there will be more sharing about what his clients want to get, what other offers he is expecting. And this way I was able many times to get my clients an opportunity to counter, even though we were not the highest. So at this point, the seller may share, well, the client wants to sell because they already purchased another property. And they will tell me what component, rather than just the price, are important for the seller to see in the offer, like closing days. If the property is vacant, then of course the seller wants to close as fast as possible. For example, if it's a 1031 exchange, the dates might be important. So a lot of these things I will put in the offer to make it as attractive as I can. So basically, this kind of helped you understand how we are crafting the winning offers. Well, it's never 100%, but at least it gives my client very good chances of getting the properties that they like. Do you have any questions?
How do you value something like a view location?
So
as opposed to living across from neighbors?
So to do that, so it really depends. Some neighborhoods are, some properties are located in the hills, where view is super important. And some views are like, if it's a sea view, or if it's a neighborhood view, if it's a forest view. So it's very subjective. But normally, those type of locations are at least 15% more than properties without this element. Yeah. So if you have a view.
Oh yeah, we have no neighbors on one side at all. It's just hills.
And that's one of the features that I would look at to kind of identify a similar property. I'll try to compare a property with a view to a property with a view. That will give me a better idea. And sometimes when there aren't that, this possibility in the last 6 months, I go back a year ago, and then I look for property with a view, property without a view, and I kind of find out what's the percentage, that I should take into consideration. I'm a math major, so I love numbers. Any questions? Thank you so much for listening.
I have a question, actually. Yeah. Dovetailing off of what, so it seems like a lot of the value is determined subjectively, because at the end of the day, it's the human being that determines how valuable that house is. And so how do they compensate for that when you guys are kind of determining the different houses in the area and everything?
So we had a kind of a dilemma last night with a client. She saw two places. One had certain things that she likes more, the other one had others. So I encourage her to really write down, first of all, without reference to any of these properties, what's important to her. What are the top 5 things that she wants to get in a property? And then we kind of look at those two properties and compare the pros and cons and find out if if view is the most important thing, then yes, that's okay that the property does need some repair. It's okay. It's even better because then we will, be able to compete more and get it for a better price. So, and what you just said is very significant. So a lot of things, so people are trying to replace human service with online service. And in many industries, it might work sometime. Like, you can get like online insurance quote. Yes, of course, sitting in front of Freak will give you better and more personal service, and it's so much better, but it's still possible. With real estate, it's impossible unless you want to pay so much more than you have to, and buy a property that you will find down the road that has so many issues that you didn't see in the first place. So it's not a science. It's more like an art. So when you look for a good realtor, you look for someone that have good sense of numbers, but at the same time can really see in between the lines and be a very creative thinker.
So an artist, a real estate artist.
Absolutely. And I'm a painter, by the way.
And musician.
And musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.